So, I don't really know how to explain this without sounding insane, but I guess the best place to start is here. You know those cheesy daytime shows old people watch? The ones where some loud host is haggling with people over like dusty lamps and broken vacuums they found in their garage? Yeah, I work on one of those. Only the stuff that happens when the cameras stop rolling, that's the part nobody's ready for. I mean, I've had wanted fugitives sleeping on my couch. One of my friends literally had his dick eaten off by something and then it just disappeared. And I've even watched multiple friends come back from the dead, like some Walmart brand pet cemetery. And sometimes my boss says things that make me think, he's gonna kill me. So yeah, that's where I work now. Anyway, sorry, I should probably introduce myself before this sounds even more unhinged. My name's Alan. But nobody around here calls me that. I'm just camera guy. That's it. That's my name now. Before all this, I was just some film school wannabe dropout with no money and, no family. I used to mess around making YouTube miniseries with friends. You know, like fake reality shows, short horror stuff, whatever. But people always bailed halfway through. Couldn't keep anyone committed. So I thought if I went to film school, I'd meet people who actually cared. Spoiler, I did not. I managed to make my entire class hate me. And I'm not exaggerating. People would literally move seats when I walked in. I heard somebody call me such a freak once. Not even quietly. So yeah, I was alone, drowning in student loans, and totally hopeless. And I did what any panicked idiot would do. I skipped town. No plan. No job. Just maybe if I run far enough, something will fix itself. That's how I ended up in Mattoon, Illinois. This town is weird, man. Like permanently overcast and the horizon is just corn in every direction. There's this old story about the mad gasser of Mattoon, where some guy would break into people's homes in the 1940s and pump gas into the bedrooms of army wives. They never caught him. I kind of laughed about it at the time. No, I don't know. It feels less funny. Anyway, one day I'm standing on a corner begging for money, holding this sad cardboard sign. And out of nowhere, this tall guy with long auburn hair walks up to me. Like he looks way too pretty to live in a place like this. He bends down, starts talking to me like I don't know. Interesting. And then he says he's looking for a cameraman. I swear to God, my heart almost stopped. A real filming job, lodging, pay. Before I even thought about it, I go, if you give me a place to stay, I'll work for free. He laughed like I just told the best joke he'd ever heard. Deal, he said. Let's get to it. I'm like, right now. And he goes, well, sure. No time like the present. He leads me to this scarlet 4-door, and before I get in, I go, wait, what's your name? He smiles big, puts a hand on his chest all dramatic and goes, I'm Tony Dealsman. And dude, he had this vibe. Like, when he talked, you wanted to listen. His eyes were this crazy green, my favorite color, and he made me feel like I'd known him forever even though we just met. So, yeah. I got in his car, and that was probably the last normal decision I made. We get to his place, a 3-bedroom upstairs apartment. And the second he opens the door, I'm like, okay, something's off. It's super dark except for 2 glowing lines of light under the doors at the end of the hall. No lamps, no sound, no life. Tony goes, let me show you the digs, hombre, and walks me to this little door on the right. This is just a coat closet, he says, with this weird smirk. He says it too casually for it to be casual. His room, huge desk, 2 monitors. One is showing something called the Mattoon Deals Radar, which is like a map with blinking dots. The other monitor just has a picture of a fat cat holding 2 apples. That's it. No decorations. Just blackout curtains and a bed. He goes, pretty baller, right? Some great deals got me this stuff. And I'm like, uh-huh, while trying to figure out why the air feels wrong. Then he leads me to the very end of the hall and straight into another guy's bedroom without knocking. "That's Danny Dealsman," he says, gesturing at this dude on the bed scrolling his phone. Danny looks at me like I'm trespassing on sacred land. Deep brow, heavy stare, real "I will break you in half" energy. I go, "My name's Alan, by the way," trying to lighten the mood. Tony just looks confused, then goes, "Yeah, anyway," and walks to a closet. He opens it. "This is you," he says. My room is literally a 4x6 hole with Danny's stuff stacked everywhere. If I curled up just right, I could probably sleep on the floor. But winter was coming, and Danny was staring at me like he could smell my fear, and I just didn't say anything. I needed a place to stay. Tony threw an arm over my shoulders and pulled me out of the room like a proud dad showing off a dog he just adopted. But before we left the hall, I noticed this other door we didn't open. There was a scraping sound coming from inside, like metal dragging. "What's in that room?" I started. Tony turned so fast it startled me. He got right up in my face. All the warmth drained out of him. He looked flat, serious in a way I'd never seen. "Don't ever," he said quietly, "ever open that door. I will know." Then, like flipping a switch, he smiled again. "All right, amigo, let's get filming." He tossed me an old camcorder, and that was that. Episode 1 was honestly pretty fun. It felt like shooting the kind of dumb videos I always wanted to make, just in a half-dead Walmart at 3 a.m. But then Tony did this thing with a pair of gloves. He puts them on real slow, looks at me dead in the eyes, and says, "I'm gonna kill you. This is the end." Then he starts strangling me. Not playfully, not jokingly, actually choking me. I fought him off, and the second I did, he snapped back into character like nothing happened. "We'll fix it in post," he said with a grin. "Uh-huh, sure. We spent 4 hours in that store and only bought milk and sugar. That was episode 1. When we wrapped, Tony asked for a shot of him getting in the car and driving away. Pretty normal filming thing. End of episode, fade out, whatever. He got in, drove off, and kept driving. Kept going. I stood there for almost 15 minutes thinking he ditched me. Then suddenly the car swings back into view and nearly hits me. He rolls the window down, laughing. "Dude, I totally forgot you were here." I guess that was funny to him. Back home, I could hear noises through my wall, the one right next to the forbidden door. And I mean loud noises. Stuff smashing, furniture getting thrown around, something screaming like an animal getting dragged across the floor. Then, one last sound, real quiet. It sounded like someone saying, "No." Then silence. I didn't sleep. Episode 2 happened literally 2 hours later. He woke me up banging a pan like he was announcing the end times. We filmed in the same Walmart. The whole time I noticed someone in the footage, after the fact. This girl in the background. A blonde girl in a hoodie. I never saw her in real life. She was just there, watching. Then Tony's brother shows up. "Jerome Dalesman." Tony almost cried. "I haven't seen you in 10 years, he said. "Not since Dad was killed by that deal finder." I'm just holding the camera like, what the hell does that even mean? We film. We finish. Tony grabs the camera and literally shoves me aside. They get in the car and leave me again, this time for an hour. When they came back, they had Steak and Shake. I asked like a hopeful idiot, "Haha, what did you get me?" They stared at me, said nothing. I cried silently in the back seat on the way home. That night was different. I wasn't asleep, but I wasn't awake. Just just kind of floating inside myself. Then the front door opened, very slowly. Someone walked down the hall toward my closet. I could see their shadow through the slits in the door. Could hear their breathing. I didn't move. I didn't even blink. After what felt like an hour, a voice whispered, "You're doing such a great job. I'm so proud of you." It was Tony, and honestly, as messed up as that whole moment was, it meant something to me. No one had ever said something like that to me before. Not like that. For the first time, I felt wanted, which is probably how all cults start, I guess. A week later, the TV betrayed Tony. Like, those were his exact words. I heard this loud crash, ran out, and he was lying on the floor screaming, "The TV betrayed me! The TV betrayed me!" The screen was shattered. Stuff was knocked over everywhere. I tried getting through to him. "Hey, Tony, what happened?" "It's me, Alan." That was a mistake. He grabbed the back of my neck, stared straight through me, and said, "Your name is Camera Guy. You have no other name." Then he shoved me back, smiled again, and told me to get the camera. "It's time to set him free," he said, looking down the hallway. The Dale's radar in his room started going off, like full alarm, every dot blinking red. And from behind the forbidden door, something started scraping again. The doorknob began to turn, on its own. Tony looked at me and said, "Keep that camera rolling, Camera Guy. You're gonna want this shot." And whatever was behind that door started pushing it open.